Hey there! In today's video, we're going to be going over Part 4, questions 31 through 40 from the 2016 to 2017 TMSCA General Math Test number 1. Let's do it. Alright, number 31. The odds of it raining today are 3 to 7. What is the probability of it not raining today? Let's see. If the odds of it raining today are 3 to 7, then the odds of it not raining today are 7 to 3. Now we need to convert this into probability. So the difference between odds and probability is odds representing let's just say this check represents how much are true. So if it's raining today, then 3 are true. And the x is how much are not true. So odds is just represented with the check to the x. Probability is represented with the check to the x plus the check, which is a total amount of things. So what we have to do is we have to combine this 3 and this 7 to get 10. And then we take our check right here to make it 7 to 10. Now we need to turn this into a fraction, like one of these problems. So when you have your check to x plus the check, or the total, right? You can just write that as the check over x plus the check. So in this case, it would just be 7 over 10, and that's your answer. Alright, number 32. What is the 120th term of the sequence? Negative 18, negative 16, negative 14, negative 12. Alright, this is an arithmetic sequence where each term goes up by a constant amount. That amount is called the constant difference. In this problem, it's going up by positive 2 each time. Alright, now another thing we need to do to figure out what the 120th term is figure out what the first term is. In this case, it's negative 18. Alright, using these two values of negative 18 and positive 2, we can find out what the 120th term is. So the formula to find that is f of n equals f of 1 plus d times n minus 1. Alright, so now we need to find what our n is. Our n is just the term we're looking for. So in this case, it's 120. So we can also replace n here to make this 120. That means this becomes 119. So now we know what our d value is. That's just 2. And we know f of 1 is negative 18. So our new equation becomes f of 120 equals negative 18 plus 2 times 119. And now we just solve. Alright, so first, 2 times 119. That is just 238. Now you subtract 18 from that, that just becomes 220. So the 120th term of the sequence is 220, and that's your answer. Next, what is the least possible sum of two positive integers whose product is 1 less than 211? Alright, so when you have a problem that sounds kind of confusing, the best thing to do is to simplify the problem. For example, 1 less than 211, that's just 210. Alright, we can work from here. So they're asking us to find the least possible sum of two positive integers whose product is 210. Alright, let's break it down. What is the easiest way to divide 210? Maybe let's take 2. 2 and 105. This is actually the greatest sum possible. So the way we find the least sum is finding the greatest divisor of 210. So right here, this is 2. This is the divisor. This is the lowest divisor. Now 105 doesn't count in this case because we didn't divide it. Of course, that would be the greatest divisor, but then it would result with 2, which doesn't count. So we need to find where these two numbers are actually the closest together. So these are really far apart. So this doesn't work. So now what we need to do is we need to go through the numbers. So for example, 3 and 70. This is better, but it's not great yet. 4 doesn't work. 5 and 42. Still better, but not great. 6 and 35. That doesn't work. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and 21. That's really close. They're getting very close. Then 12, 11, 13. Those don't work. 14, that does work. 14 and 15. This is actually the closest we can get unless it's a perfect square, which it's not. So 14 and 15 are the two numbers. Now we need to add these to get 29, and that's your answer. Next, simplify this right here. So we have x power 3 times y power 4 times z power 0 divided by x times y power 7 times z squared. Alright, very simple way to solve this problem. It's not that complicated. So let's write it out. X cubed, y power 4, z power 0 over x, y power 7, and z squared. Alright, so right here, what we have is just two large values divided by each other. The good thing is these are the same variables, x, y, and z. So we can just calculate using the exponents. So right now, let's break this up into the x, which is x power 3 divided by x, the y, which is y power 4 divided by y power 7, and the z, which is z power 0 over z power 2. And then we just multiply them at the end. Alright, so x power 3 over x. So automatically, when you have no power listed, that's automatically the power of 1. Now, since we have the power of 1, and the power of 3, what we need to do is we need to take the greater one, which is this top one right here, and we need to subtract the bottom exponent from it. So that would just be x and then 3 minus 1, like that, which is just 2. So this entirety becomes x squared. Alright, next, y power 4 over y power 7. Here, the greater one is on the bottom, so we're going to bring it down and leave a 1 at the top, because we can't just leave it empty. So y power 4, y minus 7. So that becomes y to the power of 7 minus 4, which is 3. On the bottom, though. So it really becomes 1 over y power 3. Next, similar thing here where the larger exponent is on the bottom. So we're just going to do z to the power of 2 minus 0, which is just z to the power of 2. And it's going to stay on the bottom. So 1 over z squared. And now we're just going to multiply all of these together. So x squared times these. So when you have x squared as the numerator, right, we can just put this all into one fraction, making it x squared over y cubed times z squared, and that's your answer. Next, a square has a side length of 3x plus 8. If the square is dilated by a scale factor of 4, what is the new perimeter? Okay, so we have the side length of 3x plus 8. It's being dilated by a scale factor of 4, meaning it's just being multiplied by 4. And now, since the square has 4 equal sides, that means the perimeter is just going to be this new side length times 4. So we can again put this multiplied by 4. So let's solve the inner part first, this dilation. So that's 4 times 3x plus 8. Alright, using the distributive property, we can do these separately. So 4 times 3x, that is 12x. 4 times 8, that is 32. Alright, now this becomes 12x plus 32. So now this is 4 times 12x plus 32. So let's do that. 4 times 12x is 48x. 4 times 32 is 128. And that's your answer. Next, number 36. To convert degrees into radian measure, multiply the degrees by which of the following? Alright, this is just a math theory problem. This is just testing your knowledge of math. So to go from degrees to radian measure, you just got to multiply the degrees by pi over 180, which is b, and that's your answer. Next, number 37. What is the slope of the line segment needed to create triangle ABC? Alright, so we just first need to connect the entire triangle ABC like this. Alright, now that we have a line like that, what we need to do is we need to calculate the slope. We can do that by finding the rise over run, or the change in y over the change in x. So let's do that. So we're starting off with point A, and we're going to the next whole point, which is right here, at 2, 2. Alright, now we need to see, what was the difference between the y points? So right here, point A is 1, 4. And this point right here, that is 2, 2. So the difference in the y is 2. And the difference in the x is 1. But it's negative 1, because 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So we have 2 over negative 1, which is just negative 2. So that's your slope, and that's your answer. Next, number 38. The graph of the quadratic equation y equals x squared plus 3 and y equals 2x minus 4 intersect in how many points? Alright, let's do it. So we have the two equations, x squared plus 3 and 2x minus 4. To solve this problem, let's set them equal to each other. Alright, now we can bring all of these to one side to make a proper quadratic equation in standard form. So we can subtract this from both sides and add this from both sides to make it x squared minus 2x plus 7 equals 0. Alright, now this is a proper quadratic equation in standard form that we can solve. So let's solve it. So let's use a quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Alright, let's do it. So right here, the b value is negative 2. So the negative b value would just be positive 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is just negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4, minus 4 times a times c. What is a times c here? A times c is 7 because there's 1 right here. So times 7. This is negative 28, so this comes to negative 24. And then at the bottom we have 2a. A is just 1 here, so 2a would just be 2. Alright, now there's a problem here. See, the number in the square root is a negative number. So that means there's no possible solutions to this, which means they don't intersect at all. So A is your answer. Next, Mike is 12 years older than Becky. Ariel is 5 years younger than Becky. In 4 years, Mike will be twice as old as Becky. How old is Ariel? Alright, so Mike equals Becky plus 12 because he's 12 years older. Ariel equals Becky minus 5 because she's 5 years younger. And Michael plus 4, because Michael in 4 years, is equal to 2 times Becky plus 4, which is Becky in 4 years. Alright, let's solve this. So first, let's simplify this part. This is just 2b plus 8. So now it becomes m plus 4 equals 2b plus 8. We can subtract 4 from both sides to make it Michael is equal to 2b plus 4. Alright, now we have this right here. These both right here, b plus 12 and 2b plus 4, both equal m. So when two things equal the same thing, they're equal to each other. So to make you understand that, b plus 12 is now equal to 2b plus 4 because they're both equal to m. Now we can solve this. So we subtract b from this side to cancel it out. So we have to subtract from this side as well. So now we're left with b over here. We subtract 4 from both sides to cancel it out on this side. So now we're left with 8 over here. So Becky's age is equal to 8, which means Ariel's is equal to 8 minus 5, which is 3. And that's your answer. Next, if the value of 3 to the power of 4x equals 42, then find the value of 3 to the power of 4x plus 2. Alright, so let's look at this right here. 3 to the power of 4x plus 2. So this is what we're trying to find. So in this case, right, when you have something like this where the exponents are being added, you can split this up into 3 to the power of 4x times 3 to the power of 2. We already know that 3 to the power of 4x is 42, so we're just doing 42 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, so it's just 42 times 9, which is 378, and that's your answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to show your support. These videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate it.